watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching. Watching Soulful Discussion.
So hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And how did our paths just cross right now? How did we just meet?
I'm here working out at the park.
Uh-huh.
Just trying to get it in instead of going to the gym.
Absolutely. Finding a way to get around this whole pandemic thing, right?
Best I can, but being outside didn't cost me any money.
Absolutely. And I approached you about what?
About my, feet, reflexology, and I forgot, my mental health.
Mental health, there you go. And this is going on YouTube, as I told you before.
Okay.
In terms of mental health, are there any subjects that you research, you follow closely, anything like that?
Not particularly.
Not particularly? Okay, so just kind of like maybe the common things that you hear about, right?
I mean, if something triggers something, I might look it up, but I don't really go out of my way.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the mental health in terms of like anxiety and depression.
Okay.
So there's a topic that I'm going to be discussing with you that maybe some new information that might be helpful.
Okay.
What about reflexology? Are you familiar with that? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to discuss that. Maybe it's already information you know, but maybe more in depth.
Okay.
Cool? Let's get into these questions. What's something you like that other people might find to be weird? Now I'm using the term weird for a reason. It could just be a hobby you have that others might look at as strange or something like that.
I like to crochet.
Oh, crochet. Okay, nice.
That's looked at as old grandmas do that,
Yeah.
not young people.
But that's something that you like and you enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about your body or body part before?
Not insecure, but I do get haters though.
Okay. And in terms of, is that something you still deal with on a day-to-day basis, or is it something you kind of already have a control over?
I have a control over it. I mean, I don't let it get to me. I mean, some people, that's what they do. They don't
Yeah.
want to work out and they want to look at you. How come you're always working out? And, but then if I want to put on a swimsuit and not, look like the Michelin tire man, then, that's, but everyone has their choice and I'm not judging. So that's what you want to do or don't do.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, in terms of, because you said like it's not something that you already have control over it, how did you get to that point in your life where it no longer like bothers you or anything like that?
I'm sure it took some time just really having some thought and thinking about, let people have their own opinions and let them do what they do, and you can't change how they think or how they feel. You control how you're going to react to that.
That's the key thing. Like I always tell people, like it's the reaction on the other side.
Yeah, when I find myself really overthinking it, I'm like, okay, but why are you really getting that into it? If they feel however they feel, they're going home doing whatever they're
Exactly.
doing.
They're not worried about you.
And now you're thinking about it, and when you start realizing you're putting way too much energy into it, it gets you to kind of change your thinking.
It's true. If there was one thing you could change about yourself, and it doesn't have to be physical, what would it be?
That's a good question about changing anything.
And you don't have to have an answer, but I ask it just to see what people
I hadn't really given it any thought.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I work out just to stay fit and healthy, so that's my change, just keeping everything moving and functioning at its top ability.
Absolutely. Okay, so how do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think my feet are kind of big, but then I'm tall, so...
Yeah, you are. You're about, what, 5'9", 5'10"?
5'11".
5'11", okay, nice.
So if they were any smaller, I'd look kind of awkward.
What size do you wear?
An 11, especially if they're made in China, probably a 12.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's really true. And I'm finding that out because my girlfriend, I've ordered some stuff from her from, other places, like you got to order that like a couple sizes up.
Yeah, depending on what country it's made in.
Have you ever received any compliments on your feet before?
A couple times.
Men, women?
Men.
In terms of the compliment that you receive from men about that, how does it feel when you get that compliment?
I'm okay. I don't think they're not going to be in any commercials, but but
you're okay with it. It doesn't bother you. Okay. Now, in terms of compliments you receive from men and women, not just about your feet, is there a difference in how you feel about receiving those compliments?
It depends on the situation.
Okay. Is it more about the context in which it's used? Or?
Yeah, because sometimes if it's casual, I know it's genuine. Like, oh, you look nice in that dress, or that's pretty, or like, ooh,
Yeah.
It depends on the way it's delivered also.
Got it.
Then I can tell it's coming from a genuine place.
Absolutely. So I got that idea to start asking it. I interviewed someone before who said that women, a lot of times from a young age, are taught to be in competition with each other and kind of hate on other girls. So when you get older and you receive compliments from other women, it comes across as more sincere and you hold it at a higher regard, as opposed to like the compliments you can receive from men sometimes that are just like they're giving you a coin for something in return.
Yeah, more in a sexual connotation as well.
Yeah, exactly. What would your thoughts be? I don't know what your marital situation is or if you're single or anything like that, but let's take you back to square one.
Okay.
You're dating. What would your thoughts be on if you started dating somebody who's into feet? Like, be something you're okay with, or
Into it meaning what?
so we're talking about from an admiration standpoint. They like you for who you are as a whole, but they're just into feet. Like that's something that
I mean,
they,
it wouldn't.
foot massages and
No, I don't
rubbing on
have
your
a
feet,
problem with
kissing on
that.
your feet, stuff like that.
That's what's how into like a fetish type of thing.
Yeah, so there's levels to it, right? So we have the people who, you have some people who are like super obsessed, and then you have people who are just like admirers. They just like to see women who have nice feet or whatever. So that would be something you're okay with.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Okay. In terms of when you first start dating, like I said, we're taking you back to square one. When you first start dating someone, when is the appropriate time for you two to talk about the stuff that you're into? When do you think that is?
That's a good question.
And this is the one I always like because I get different ranges.
It
of
depends.
reaction.
There's no set timeline, like to say within the first 2 months or 3 months. Sometimes your connection is clear and you can talk about stuff like you've known each other for 100 years and it would come naturally to say, hey, I'm into this, 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 and this. But then some people you're a little more guarded. It might take a little more time before you feel like
you build that trust.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
there's no timeline you can put on that.
Cool. So each situation has its own. It creates its own time limit or whatever. Okay. How do you get pedicures?
I try to go at least once a month. I'm very active, so trying to find the time to not do anything. Because once I get it done, it's like, okay, I can't run, I can't play tennis, I can't come work out, can't put on tennis shoes, so I gotta space it. Like, okay, this is the day I'm just gonna do laundry and stay at home. Then I gonna get a pedicure while I stay at the house. So I have to fit it in my schedule.
And so, have you ever heard of medical pedicures before?
No.
Yeah. So it's some information I got from another lady I interviewed, and she said that. So it's a specialist who you go to see. It's like a podiatrist, but they specialize in just giving. They take a look at your feet, see if your toes are aligned correctly, make sure your nail beds are correctly like going in the right way. They check for any like dry skin, athlete's foot, and stuff like that. And they do all the work there. And so, actually, one of the guys who watches my channel, he actually told me he went and got one done. He said he looked it up, went and saw the person, and like they say that
I have seen a podiatrist one time, but it wasn't necessarily for a pedicure. I mean, just to kind of.
Yeah, this is somebody you would go see. They're actually like not in a doctor's office. They have their own office.
But on a regular basis, you'd have to go.
They say that you should go see this type of person like maybe every like 2 to 3 months, just to like keep up the upkeep and make sure that you're good. And they want you to come as soon as possible because a lot of times people wait till they get older and like the problem is already like too late. It's already bad. And so they want you to come see them. So
I probably should see one as much activity as I do because I jam my toes all the time. And
I literally I'm providing this information because a lot of women don't know about it. People in general don't know about it. So
Well, like they don't go like I just found out from my chiropractor. Most people don't go until there's a problem. You don't think, oh, let me go get an adjustment just to maintain. You don't.
It's already too late.
You're already because I went for one just a consultation. Said you're out of alignment and that's not something you think about. It's like you think you're walking straight and you're doing this and she's like you're not. I was like okay, so the same idea, just to maintain.
Yeah, maintain it exactly. It's like a car basically. You maintain
just
it.
Check it up every now and again. Even there's no problem, just to see to see where things are going. I probably now that you said that.
Yeah, there you go. How often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that? You said you're really active, so
I try to mix it up purposely to get out of tennis shoes all the time and wear some cute shoes and sandals and show my toes. More so in the summer, just because sandals
hot weather and things like that. Yeah. How often do you go barefoot?
Around the house, but outside, no. Never.
Have you ever heard of like earthing around?
Yeah, I've done it, and I'm just like
you don't feel it.
I mean, not in a bad way. I have done it. I run outside with no shoes on a couple times, and I just feel awkward because it's not something I normally do. I'm like, okay, I'm out here standing here on this gravel, don't have no shoes, but then I know it's all types of
what's on the ground.
The ground, people breaking bottles, and dog poop. People,
It's very true.
That's more the reason why not to do it.
I feel you.
But I get the idea of being close with the earth and nature and that whole thing.
You find that in a lot of like Native American cultures and African cultures.
This is restrictive and this is not our natural.
It's not. We come out of the womb like completely bare. Yeah.
But when you live in a concrete jungle with all,
it's facts. It's facts. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So now, can we see what your feet look like close?
Sure.
Okay. Let me get you to keep your socks on and put them up here.
Do which foot? I just had a pedicure yesterday. It's funny.
Oh, look at this. We caught you on the right time. All right, leave your socks on. Leave your socks on. Put them up here. Yeah, can you take both off and just put them up here? And you said these are size 11. But you're 5'11".
Depends on the who.
If it's who is made
10.
by.
This is 10.
Oh, it's a 10.
Made in Indonesia.
Oh, okay, there you go. So maybe we got people there who have like larger feet, so they can make it a little smaller. All right, and so. Looks like you have great toe alignment from what I can see here from the outline. All right. And let me get you to extend your legs all the way out. Yeah, and then let me get you, there you go. So how are you feeling right now? We're going through this process.
I didn't know
You're
I was
out
going to
here.
show my feet.
Yeah, absolutely. But how are you feeling now that we are doing that?
It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I get it's fit to giving people information. You want to,
Absolutely.
spread it, pay it forward to other people.
Exactly. And then can we get you to take your socks off now? And what color are we going to see here? We got...
No color.
Oh, no color. Okay. So you just went and got them trimmed, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And then let's take this one.
Because I said I do a lot of working out, and I said I need to let my feet be free.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see the tops. Okay. All right. And so let's talk about, leave them up. We're going to go through a couple more exercises. Okay. So let me talk to you about the mental health, why I got started in this. So I was watching a guy's channel during quarantine. He was talking about DBT. Are you familiar with that term?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's so many acronyms, so many alphabets.
It's dialectical behavioral therapy. So it's for people who suffer from anxiety and depression. These people tend to not live in the moment. They overthink situations that they're presented with.
Mm-hmm.
And so therapists prescribe for these people to go out and put themselves in those uncomfortable situations. So
Get out their comfort zone.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So let's say if you went to them and you had a problem with approaching strangers, you felt fear from that, they would want you to go out and approach strangers, right? Do it over and over again so you can get used to that uncomfortable feeling that comes with it, and they want you to cope with it. And they want you to, when you're in that moment, do a self-assessment and ask yourself, what's the worst that's going to happen to me in this moment?
And
right?
work through it.
Exactly. And so that way you're doing work. You're asking yourself realistically, is this something that's going to harm me? It's going to hurt me in terms of ending my life or my safety, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't find anything, you should proceed. Do the opposite of what you're feeling, because you could experience good events, good moments, overcome the things that you're afraid of. What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about that?
No, that's really true. And I found myself doing that in certain situations. You have to make yourself, like they say, get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And I haven't always been a people person. I can be a little chatty patty at times, but there's times where, you kind of don't want to talk, don't want to say something. Not that I'm afraid. You just something
you
just
choose to stay to yourself.
Don't push you in that direction.
Yeah.
So.
And it's actually interesting because I started doing this, right? And in the past, I haven't been that way. I've usually been more the type of person, I just stay to myself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
talk. And so I was maybe I need to come out more and talk to people and just see what happens from it. And so this was a way for me to do that. So it's pretty interesting. So let's talk about reflexology. Now you said that you know a little bit about it.
Yes.
Right. So it's about the pressure points we have in our hands and feet, and all these pressure points and nerve endings correlate back to other parts of our body. So through massage, acupressure, acupuncture, you can alleviate stress and tensions in different areas of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had that done before?
Yes.
Was it a good experience?
I loved it. The best thing.
Really?
Not my hands per se, but on my feet.
Okay. And it's interesting because I interviewed a lady on Monday, and she said she had it done, and she had the acupuncture done, and I guess they put one of those needles here in her head, which is her third eye. She was it brought out all kinds of bad emotions for her. She was just it was a bad experience. So I was okay. So yeah.
That I've never done.
Yeah.
But the flexology.
Yeah, reflexology. Yeah. So now, in terms of that, we're in this portion. How ticklish are you?
I'm ticklish.
Scale of 1 to 10. What are you thinking?
Again, it's probably control. If I know what's going to happen, I can probably be a little more sustained.
Absolutely.
If it just comes out of the blue, it'll probably be within immediately.
Okay.
So
what
maybe
do you, 5, 6?
I'm going to say 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Okay. Would you mind if we test it on camera?
Sure.
All right. Cool. Let me get
Well, now I know
you.
what's
Is it okay
gonna
if I touch your feet?
Go ahead.
Okay. And just put them both like this and put them close together. All right. And then I'm gonna start with the right. Okay. And I'm gonna work my way from the bottom up. And then you just tell me where it's more sensitive at. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it's
Right
not
there,
really
right there.
right here in the arch. Okay. And not so much here at the top. Okay. Let's try left, and you tell me if this one's usually more sensitive. So tell me which one it is. 1, 2, 3, and
About the same.
about this. Really?
Mm-hmm.
One's usually more sensitive. Okay. Now I want you to try this for me. I want you to wiggle your toes while I'm doing it, and tell me if you feel more or less. Okay. So let's try the right first. Wiggle your toes.
Less.
Okay. You're supposed to know. Do you know why? Your foot's in motion, and so it can't pick up on the sensation of me being able to do that.
I mean, I felt you doing it, but it didn't.
It not as much as it was before, right? Let's try the left. Do the same thing. Wiggle your toes, and
A little bit, I can still.
you can still feel it more. So this might be your more sensitive foot. Did you feel it more when I went through the first time?
Yeah.
And this one?
Yes.
Are you left-handed?
No.
Really? Usually the person's more dominant side is the side that they usually feel more sensitivity to. So that's actually interesting. Okay. Now let me get you to do this for me. A couple exercises to test whether you have any ligament or bone damage. Okay. Let me get you to bend your toes over and make a fist. Tell me if it's easy to do, if you don't feel any discomfort from it. So bend your toes over, make a fist. Pain, discomfort from that?
Nope.
Relax. Okay, spread your toes. Any pain or discomfort from that?
Nope.
Relax. And then just wiggle your toes about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel any pain or discomfort.
Nope.
Nothing?
Got a good day.
Good. Good. So I had people start doing that. I interviewed a lady before, and we did that when she bent her toes over, and she felt like sharp pain like go across her toe. And it's actually signs that could be like I said, ligament damage, broken bone.
Has she felt that before or just?
No, she had never felt it before, but she said she
But that's
had
not
stumped her
something
toe
she did.
like the week before. And I guess she thought nothing of it, but then like when she did that, she felt the pain from it. So absolutely. So I have people do it just to test it out, see if it's anything.
Yeah, I can see that trauma to your feet would.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't know about it because we just go around walking and like don't pay attention. So let's get to the end of the interview now. Now, in terms of my approach, when I walked up, I know I caught you in the middle of like ending your workout, but was it a good approach? Was it bad? Is it something I can work on?
It wasn't bad.
Okay, cool. In terms of the interview, start to finish, could you see how everything was going in a line? Did it make sense to you, and did you learn anything new?
I did learn something that did make sense. It
Okay.
was very informative.
Cool. And so the last thing I have everyone do that does the interview with me, from a mental health standpoint, maybe a life lesson that you learned or some wise words of wisdom that you could have for my audience that you could share with them.
No, just pay attention to your body. When you start feeling something, it's for a reason. God gave us that intuition for us to, little signs and signals. You should pay attention. Even if it's a little voice or a little tingle, or whatever you feel, it's telling you something.
It's for a
and
reason.
You should pay attention.
I mean, because
to
it's
that.
just like your car, right? Your car, if it starts like lagging or you can feel it,
You hear that
something's
certain
wrong.
little something ticking, or you
Yeah.
hear something like, that don't sound right.
There's a reason for it, right? And so, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you're in the middle of workout. Appreciate you taking time, like to go through this interview process.
Okay.
And we hope you have a great one. Okay.
Same to you.
All right.